go ahead and get started on the 2024-2025 parent orientation. We're going to start by going over some general information that applies to all of the families, and then we'll kind of take a little restroom break, and then we will go over the level-specific information, and you guys can learn how goal charts work. So let's see. Because we individualize, some things do change from year to year. So as our lovely returning families are all here and know, it's important to hear all of the new, fresh information about the things that have changed for the coming school year. At the beginning of the parent and student handbook, you'll find our mission and philosophy, our character and values, and our statement of faith. So everything that we do here is guided by our mission statement and our philosophy. And then underneath that in the handbook, you'll see that we have goals that help us accomplish our mission and measurable objectives that help us evaluate our staff and our students. Now, we target these objectives all year long, and we work really hard to be in consistent, constructive communication with you anytime we're not hitting these objectives with one of your students. So then we have our character and our values. Our expectations of the students and the staff, and the parents, and the volunteers are all based on these Christian characteristics that are based on specific scripture. And those are really important for maintaining a Christian environment and a culture. And that's kind of crucial to the culture of kindness and elevation that we're aiming for here at Hope. So you can find these in full and our full statement of faith in our handbook. We are non-denominational. So we just have that simple statement of faith that if you can agree with those basic tenets of Christianity, then you should fit in with us just fine. Anytime you get feedback on your students from us, it will be related to one of these goals, objectives, characteristics, statement of faith. It'll be based on this stuff. So it's important to kind of refresh ourselves on it every year. Next, in the handbook, this is our quick checklist for kids who are not feeling well. We want them here as much as possible, but if they have 2 or more of these symptoms, or if there's anything coming out of one or both ends, we ask that they stay home until they're feeling better. That can just be one symptom and you're good, keep them with you. All right, and then that checklist is there in the handbook, and it's pretty straightforward, common sense. You know when your kids are not well enough. Communication will often be digital. We ask that you check that at least weekly. We have created a Facebook group, a private Facebook group for Families of Hope. And that way we can create private events and send pictures and share pictures of your kids with one another. So you can see what they're doing here at school. So if you've gotten a friend request from me recently, that's why. It's because the way Facebook works, if you have a private group, you have to be friends first. So you don't have to be my friend, but you have to accept that for me to invite you to the Facebook group. We also use email as our primary notification system. So you'll want to check that frequently, at least once a week, preferably 2, 3, 4 times a week would be best. We ask that you really stay in contact with your child's teacher using goal charts, text, and email. We are co-teachers in this endeavor. If you have any concerns, please reach out to me as well. I'm here to make sure we're all collaborating with each other really well. Another aspect of the communication is if we have a school closing for weather, winter weather or something, we are also on KY3. So whenever you're looking at the school closings, we'll be on there if we're closed. We also will send you an email in case you don't check that. We'll put it on Facebook. And if you guys, when you get that email or that text, if you could just send a quick reply, quick got it, thank you, whatever. That way we know you're not here waiting for us and holding this stuff. Next in the handbook, information about visitors and safety. Visitors, parents are of course always welcome to come to school. we just ask that you check in with me through text or an email because we train all of the kids. Please, please, please do not open any of these doors, even for your mama. So even the big tall ones may not let you in because that's the rules. So if you'll send me a text or an email, and I will make sure to meet you and let you in. Because the doors are all locked for safety. You'll find in the handbook kind of our plan for all kinds of different safety situations, fire, tornado, all of that kind of thing. We don't do drills because that raises anxiety for the kids. Kids are trained to listen to the teachers. Teachers are trained in what the procedures are. So next up in the handbook, you'll find information on dress code, discipline, and snack and lunch. Under the dress code, so we don't have a real strict dress code. It's based on our love and logic philosophy of discipline here at Hope. So we're asking the kids to use good judgment. And what we say is, if there's anything real extreme about your appearance, it can be disrupting and distracting to others. So we remember our school philosophy and we apply it here. We say, feel free to look any way you like, as long as it's not a problem for anyone else at school, especially a teacher. So, for example, I don't have to do this often. It's been a very rare occasion where somebody's had a dress code issue. But I would say, would wearing a prince or princess costume to go to school distract your friends unless it's character day? Well, yes. Okay, so we can't wear that. Well, wearing your hoodie over your head for most of the day, a negative impression on your friends and your teacher. Well, okay, so you probably want to take that hood off of your head so that you're making a good impression with all of your friends and your teachers and it's not distracting. So that's our dress code, good judgment. In terms of discipline, we use the Hope Cash system, even for the biggest kids. Even if they're making real money, it's always fun to go to the Hope store. We have snacks and drinks in there, so that's always kind of a hit with the older crowd. We have a lot of toys. We actually have some pretty cool electronics in there too, that some of our older kids really want to save up their money for and purchase those. So that's our incentive system. There's definitely more giving away of money than taking it. So that's kind of our main discipline system. There's a little bit more information in that handbook if you want to read through that. If you have any questions, concerns, or comments about that, don't hesitate to reach out and let me know. Then our tech policies. So for the elementary group of students, they're not allowed to have electronic devices at school because it's just too much of a distraction. For our middle level students, if parents want their students to have a cell phone or a tablet or a smartwatch that calls, we absolutely respect that because you paid for that, you want your child to have it. But we ask that they leave those turned on silent and in their bags unless they ask their teacher's permission. We will almost always give them permission. We'll never keep them from you, but we don't want that to be a distraction for them, and they haven't quite learned how to handle that technology just yet. Then in the high school room, we use the cell phone sometimes for learning, and we're teaching them how to be responsible adults with those electronic devices. So we start out the year allowing them to use those at their discretion. If anything becomes a problem, I just say, listen, it's becoming a problem, so I'm going to have you put it away in your bag on silent for the rest of today. And then next time we're here at school, you can start over, try again. Now the important part, snack and lunch. Snack time, even the big kids get snack time. Sometimes they need it more than the little ones. It wakes them up. So snack time, we do that individually in each classroom. We ask that you send something finger food like. The older kids, it's really not a problem. Sometimes we'll have an older student that eats half their sandwich at snack time. That's really up to them. But it's handy for them to have some chips or some pretzels or something that's easy to snack on. Everybody needs a water bottle. Everybody needs to stay hydrated. and it's really handy to have a refillable water bottle with them, labeled with their name. If students bring refrigerated items, we ask that they have an ice pack with them. We do have some refrigerators here that can be used, but there's limited space, so you can send an ice pack as well. They'll also have access to a microwave, and they can bring anything that needs to be reheated. Please do not send food items that need to be cooked versus warmed up, because then our poor kids are spending 10 minutes of their 25-minute lunch cooking their lunch, and then they don't have their social time, and that's no good. And please, if you can avoid sending glass containers, because even those biggest of kids can get the dropsies, and then there's glass everywhere, and I'm worried all day. Label everything with their name as much as possible. If you're looking to send in something extra, an extra donation, spare water bottles. When water bottles go on sale after the back to school craze is over, we would love to have the extra water bottles. That would be terrific. Okay, next in the handbook, you'll find a page about the Hope Parent Organization. It's kind of a pretend invisible organization, because if you're enrolling your student, you're a Hope Parent, and you're volunteering for our pretend PTA. For starters, we celebrate birthdays for everybody. If your student has a summer birthday, I have a calendar, I have a schedule for when we're going to celebrate their birthday. And I'll try to send you a text that says, we're celebrating this child's birthday on this day at school. You're welcome to send in snacks, a special birthday snack, for either their class or the whole school. It's totally up to you. If you send it in for their classroom, we'll eat it at snack time. And if you send it in for the whole school, we'll eat it after lunch. So that's the birthday component. Then we have 4 parties a year. We do parties for Fall Festival, Christmas, Valentine's Day, and Easter. And we always need parent help and volunteers. And once again, even the big kids celebrate. And I love doing the parties all together at the whole school, because then the big kids are helping with the little kids, and they get so into it, and they're enjoying those festive and Christian holidays all the way up through graduation, and it's really awesome to watch. So if parents would want to sign up to help, I will be sending out a sign-up sheet for food and drink donations at the time of the party. We also have a sign-up sheet back here for you to take a look at. If you want to sign up, if you know you're going to be in town and want to help with a particular holiday, we'd love to have you go ahead and sign up now. We also need help with field trips and fundraisers. So if anybody has an idea, they want to go on a field trip, they want to help organize something, please reach out to me and let me know. We're always happy to have us working together on fun things for our kids' education. So then there's a document in the email called the parent orientation. And that starts off by giving you just some general information when we start school, which is at 8. Let me just read my notes because I'm trying to remember it. I've got it right here. Student drop-off begins at 8:15 and it ends at 8:25. And then our school day starts at 8:30. We have chapel. For drop-off, we ask the parents enter the student here through the south driveway and pull all the way around the building up under this awning on the north side. And that creates a car line that wraps around the building. And then you stop under the awning, and staff will be stationed at the north entrance door to help students out of the cars. So that way, that helps you guys get to work on time, and it helps us make sure everybody's safe. So then you exit the car line by just pulling all the way out to the north exit and going out that way. Then at pickup time, same line. Pull in at the south driveway, wrap around the building to the north. And teachers will load the students into the cars. For the safety of students, we ask that kids not get into the parent's car or come out of the parent's car without a teacher present. Sometimes our bigger kids have trouble with that because they're big kids. They don't need an adult to get into a car. That's true. But the adults are the responsible ones if a car does something that is scary or dangerous. So even our biggest kids, our seniors that drive, I walk them to their car. So just a heads up, a reminder for youngest to oldest, stay with the teacher getting in and out of the cars, please. Then if you're running late, that's not a problem at all. Just contact me or your student's classroom teacher, who might also be me. Either way, if you're running late, contact one of us and it's no problem at all. We ask that you just go ahead and still follow that car line procedure though, because if you don't, then we might have a couple of late people and then we have head-on collisions and that's fine. If you have somebody who is picking up or dropping off your student that's not you, that's absolutely fine. I just need written confirmation that you're giving me permission to give your student to that child. And it's no problem, just tell me their name and I can do it that way. Next in the orientation document, we have a list of standards that we use for technology at school. In the younger grades, this doesn't really apply, but it's in there for them as well. For these middle and upper grades, we're going to ask that you go ahead and review those with your students because we want you to impart your individual family values about using technology for learning. So, but we'll also review these with the students at school before we start using the computers to learn. That's going to be on page 4 of the parent orientation document. iGrade. This is our online parent portal. This is our gradebook and how we keep records for your students. Your access to this will be sent out in the next couple of weeks. There are instructions in the parent orientation document and in the email inviting you to create an account and have access to that. You'll be able to see your students' grades in there, as well as in Ignitia. For these older grades that most of their work is in Ignitia or a lot of their work is in Ignitia, you may not see a grade until the first quarter because you see the weekly grade happening on the Ignitia program. So the record grade doesn't always go in there until quarter. Okay, finally, I wanted to show you how to access our school website so that you can have access to all of the links that you're going to need. Give me just a minute. This is another learning curve I'm having. I have to remember how to do it. All right, this is the school website. This is the home page where you'll find general information about HHA, links to student applications, upcoming events, social media links, and contact. Then it's the more important part. Here, you're going to find our school calendar. This is the main calendar for this academic year. It's connected to my Google Calendar for the school, and it updates automatically as I update those. So, like you'll see here, tonight's event is here, first day of school, and I do have every school day listed on that. It's not quite updated for all of our events that are going to be happening a little bit later in the year, but I promise I will get this on there soon. Then on the academic side, if you hover over that, you have a link to our Ignitia page. This might be really useful to our newer families. If you're having trouble, I'm going to give you some specific instructions in a little bit. But if you're having trouble, you can always go to our website and just follow the links on that. Then we have our Families of Hope page. And this is where you will find our school supply list. All of the lists are on there. You have to go down here and scroll to find your student club, but it's on there, I promise. Then down here, we're going to have links to all of the main things that we're associated with. We have Ignitia, Glendale Baptist Church, which is where we're housed, our re-enrollment application, and a link to the Hope store. And that's where you can get Hope t-shirts for your students. And I just added that link this year. I usually just send the link, but I thought put it on the website, that would make sense. So this is where you can get Hope shirts. Our Hope t-shirt day is the first full day of the month, starting in September. So August, first day of school, I used to have a little bitty girl who loved to wear a frilly dress on the first day of school. Now she's a big girl, but she still likes to dress up for the first day of school. This gives everybody a chance to get these ordered and get them in so that everybody can have school on future days. On the first school day of each month, I will try to send reminders about that out. There's multiple options of styles and shirts. Most students have a t-shirt, and we try to wear those when we go on field trips, and then everybody tells me that all the kids wearing blue, we're so okay. All right, that is the end of the first section.